Hello, all. This is Keith. Welcome to KeithSpeaks. If it's your first time, subscribe. Please feel free. Comment. I respond to them all. It's a place where we can start the conversation. And today I want to talk to you about a document. Not an executive order, not a memorandum, the document. The one they taught you about in school. The one they put on the wall of every classroom in America. The United States Constitution. Specifically, I want to talk about the three words it opens with. We the people. Now, before you change the channel, before you assume you know where this is going, stay with me. Because this isn't about left or right. This isn't about Democrat or Republican. This is about history. Documented, factual, verifiable history. And a warning about where we are right now. In 1787, 55 men gathered in Philadelphia to write the Constitution of the United States. Let's look at who was in that room. They were landowners. They were wealthy. They were white. And a significant number of them, including the man who would become the first president of this country, owned enslaved human beings. That's not an accusation. That is the historical record. So when they wrote, "We the people," who exactly did they mean? Not the 700,000 enslaved black Americans living in the country at this time. They were counted as 3/5 of a person for the purpose of congressional representation and tax purposes. Not for rights, not for citizenship, but so that these slave states could have more political power. That's in the document. Article 1, Section 2. Not women. Women could not vote, could not own property in their own name in most states, and had no standing as independent legal persons under the Constitution as written. Not indigenous people, not men without property. We the people in 1787 meant we, the wealthy, white, property-owning men of these colonies. Full stop. Now, here is what I want you to understand. This is not an argument to throw away the Constitution. It is an argument to see it clearly, because when you see it clearly, you understand something critical about this moment in American history. The freedoms most Americans believe they have were never built into the original architecture. They were fought for, amended in, marched for, died for, added on top of a document that was never designed to include most of the people living under it. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery in 1865. Nearly 100 years after the Constitution was ratified. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote in 1920, 133 years after we, the people. The Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, these were not gifts. They were corrections, forced corrections to a system that was never fully democratic to begin with. And what held it together, imperfectly, incompletely, but together, was a set of norms, agreements, informal understandings that the people in power would operate within certain boundaries even when the law itself didn't force them to. Those norms are being dismantled right now, systematically, legally, in plain sight. When the Department of Justice can write a memo telling a sitting president he doesn't have to follow a law written by Congress and face no immediate consequence, that is not a constitutional democracy functioning. That is the architecture of law being hollowed out from the inside. When a federal agency can refuse to promise a court that it will not destroy historical records, that is not a small d democratic government operating in good faith with its citizens. When the people responsible for preserving the history of this nation's leadership cannot guarantee that history will survive, we are not in normal territory. Here is the warning. What is happening right now is not a detour from American history. In many ways, it is a return to its original default setting. Power concentrated at the top, accountability optional, the public's right to know treated as a threat rather than a guarantee. The difference is, this time there is no pretense. No performance of democratic norms for the cameras. What you are watching is a system that has decided it no longer needs to maintain the appearance of the thing it was always only partially being. That should concern every American. Not because the myth was real, but because even the myth served a function. It created a floor, a minimum standard of conduct that those in power at least had to pretend to honor. When the floor is gone, everyone falls. This is your warning. The document is real. The ideals written in it are real. The question has always been whether the people holding power would honor them. Right now, watch what they're doing, not what they're saying. Watch the pattern, connect the dots, and ask better questions. The receipts don't lie. This is Keith, and this is Keith Speaks.